Hi there guys, Vino here and welcome to this Vino Plunk production. Now I tried to record a video ever since last Friday, in fact before last Friday, and the video just wasn't going well. Either the memory card on my camera would corrupt, or sometimes my camera's like, oh, the memory inside the memory card inside here is not fast enough to keep up with the footage, and there was just a bunch of technical issues. Then when I actually did get round to recording the video, I flubbed on a few things and wasn't happy with the way I went about doing the video. And when I finally had a take that was good and I liked it, my computer decided to corrupt things. So I got a bit defeated about it. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm just going to give you a bit of a brief update on some things I've gotten recently, talk about them a little bit here, and then in the future do a closer up video on these things. So the first thing I'm going to speak about is one of the first things I bought this month, and is the video, or one of the videos I wanted to record last week. So what I wanted to record last week was my review of Jason, or Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. So if I get out, well, I didn't want to do that, sneak peeks. If I get out Jason Lives from this thing I have here, you've already seen it, that's the copy of Jason Lives I watched last week. There we go. Now some people who know what this already is going, interesting. Other people maybe not so. So I've recently upgraded my Friday the 13th collection to a Blu-ray collection, and what better Blu-ray collection could I have upgraded it to than, and I'm trying to make sure I put this back in the right place, than the Scream Factory Deluxe Edition Collection box set, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so a number of years ago, Scream Factory put out a Halloween box set. That box set was lapped up very quickly, and now goes for a very pretty penny, the best part of $1,000, and give or take that in pounds. The cheapest I've seen it for recently is £600. It is not a cheap set now because it's way out of print and is very much sought after. There is a 10-disc version out there that goes for quite a bit less, but even that is now out of print. I'm going to put this down just for a minute. Sainsbury's here in the UK, Sainsbury's Entertainment. Sainsbury's is a supermarket chain here in the UK. Sainsbury's Entertainment, as the name suggests, is a subdivision that focuses on entertainment. Well, Sainsbury's Entertainment, or Sainsbury's themselves, I suppose, wants to get into distribution of media. They were actually in talks with Scream Factory about bringing the Halloween box sets here to the UK. The problem with it is the cost that it was going to end up being. So it was already a pricey box set even bought in America, and if people were going to buy it over here, we're talking £100, £120, maybe £150. And Sainsbury's, who wasn't an established distributor at the time, couldn't risk a premium set at that kind of price when they're kind of still getting their feet under the table. So that deal kind of fell through. I'm going to say something else onto that. Anyway, that set is now way out of print. The 10-disc version is around, and you can buy it for a relatively decent price if you have a look around. My only issue is there are quite a few fakes out there, and I'm quite wary of those fakes. But nonetheless, this is more about this set. I could not pass up on getting this set. I had to jiggle around a couple of bills, yes, in order to get this set, but I couldn't pass it up, to be honest, because I missed out. Well, I got the Halloween set, but had to sell it for money personally, and now it garners a very pretty penny. Friday the 13th means more to me than Halloween, by a long shot, mainly because of Friday the 13th, the game, which is still going through a bunch of legal stuff, but I couldn't pass up on getting, Scream Factory's follow-up to the Halloween box sets. To give you my brief feelings on the set, it's simply put astounding. There are 4K transfers for Friday the 13th 1 till 4, maybe even 5. There are 2K transfers for both Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X. All of the films that have an uncut version, the uncut version is included. As you guys may or may not know, the MPAA were quite strict on Friday the 13th as it came out, especially when it became a bit more of a well-known, series. They heavily cut some of the stuff. One of the films that suffered the most from that is Friday the 13th Part 2. Some pretty gory scenes were cut completely from it. As a result, the footage from the uncut footage, until recently, was considered long since gone. Well, one of the filmmakers involved with the original Friday the 13th actually had those scenes stored on a VHS tape. The VHS tape was not in the best quality, but they got in touch with a studio that's well known for doing restoration kind of work, and they managed to restore what footage they could to it, and it's on that disc. It's on one of the discs for Friday the 13th Part 2. You can actually see those deleted scenes. Yes, it's not in the best quality, it's VHS quality, and even then the VHS, wasn't in the best condition, but it's there. It's there. And they've done that for a number of these films. They've reinserted back in, not to the film itself, but as deleted scenes or removed scenes, they've put back in a lot of the content that was cut because of the MPAA. Now, some Friday the 13th fans, maybe myself included, would like versions of the film where you can just inject those scenes back into there, but there's probably some sort of rights issue as to why they can't just simply do the film. Plus, some of the deleted scenes are not to the same quality as the film itself, so it would be very jarring to see the difference between the two. But yeah, this is a phenomenal set. The transfers are fantastic. They've done a bit of colour correction on a few of the films, mainly the first one and some of the other films. Some people were quite apprehensive, quite concerned that they would go overboard with the colour correction and get it completely wrong. They haven't. I've looked at my previous set, which is the Crystal Lake to Manhattan set, which is of course a DVD set, and in my mind they've just colour corrected it in what would be more authentic to what the original film stock would have looked like when it first came out the camera. This is a phenomenal set. It's expensive as hell. I'm not going to beat around the bush on that one. I paid £133 for this in total. The box set itself was £100, and import duties, including postage, were £33. So it's not a cheap set, but if you are able to get hold of it, I would. I got this from, it's a Region 1 set, or Region A set I should say, and it does come from America. I imported it. It arrived almost unscathed. You can see on my particular copy there are some blemishes, but it did come there was a bit of a bump on one of the corners, but it did come one hell of a way. So, it is one of those things. So yeah, I'm chuffed to hell with that. And I actually accidentally end up watching halfway through like 5 of the films. So, it tells you how much I already enjoyed the set. The next thing that came along was a bit of a surprise. So I was in the bath one day on YouTube and up popped a notification on my phone, and it was offering me a free item. Google did this last year with the Google Home. They offered, as a Christmas present to YouTube Premium subscribers, they offered a Christmas present, basically. They did the same again this year. Now I ended up selling my Google Home quite quickly because it was a gimmick. I barely used it, and to me all I used it for was to tell jokes or to look up information I already knew. It was a gimmick to me. We don't have, smart lights. We don't have smart appliances that can, connect up with it. So to me it's a bit of a gimmick. However, the item they offered this time, I've literally had in my basket on the Google store several times. I almost bought one of these from, was it Amazon or somewhere, but decided against it. What am I talking about? The item they offered for free was a Google Stadia. Well, the Google Stadia Premier Edition, which includes a Google Stadia controller and a Chromecast Ultra. The Chromecast Ultra is, of course, connected to my telly in the back room. Google Stadia is Google's game streaming platform. Think of it like Netflix, but for games, essentially. Normally, when you play a game, there's a significant download before you can play the game. With Stadia, you can literally buy a game or look it up on Google Stadia Pro, select a game, and away you go. There's no problems apart from that. So, what's my opinion of Google Stadia? Simply put, phenomenal. It does have its problems. I will put a caveat in there and say it's not flawless. It's near flawless though. I'd say that. I don't know that I'm playing a streaming device. It's very seamless. This is extremely responsive. The way this works is a bit different from other controllers if you were to connect it to your Chromecast Ultra, because the Chromecast Ultra does have Bluetooth capability. What this does is it connects to your wireless router and sends the signal straight to Google server. So it cuts out the middleman. Rather than sending signals to the Chromecast Ultra, where the Chromecast Ultra then sends it up to Google servers, this does it directly itself. There is practically no latency. I can't even, if I really focus, I think I see latency, but that could just be confirmation bias. That could just be because I'm looking for the latency, wanting to see it, and then, it pops up. I was playing Destiny 2 for a few hours the other day, and apart from a few lag spikes that of course are going to happen anyway, A, I was playing online anyway, because it's an online game, and B, there were some issues with our network provider at the time. Apart from that, it has been flawless, and I really do enjoy Google Stadia. This controller is really nice, actually. A lot of people have given it a bit of flack for it. The triggers, yeah, I can see why people think they're a bit chinky, but the controller itself is really nice. It's sturdy, it's comfortable. It's I love the orange accents on the thumbsticks there. It's a really comfortable controller, and I found myself performing better with this controller than I did on an Xbox One or a PS4 controller. Obviously, you can see from the way it looks, it's kind of a hybrid of the two controllers. Maybe it more resembles a PS4 controller or a DualShock 4 controller than it does an Xbox controller, but it's a really comfy, really nicely used controller, very responsive in its own right, and I'm really liking Google Stadia, and I'll be playing that more in the future. So the next thing that I decided to get, it was my birthday this month. As I'm recording this video, my birthday was 4 months back. 4 months back? Yeah, 4 months back, 4 days ago. And originally, I was going to use my birthday money to recoup some of the cost of this. But last week, I popped onto eBay and was looking around and decided to watch a few listings. One of those listings, the seller offered me a discount on the item, a 20% discount. And considering the listing was already £100 anyway, taking effectively £20 off, I was already about to offer them a offer of £20 anyway, £20 less anyway. So I accepted their offer. I then sent them a message asking if they'd be willing to wait until Monday, which was my birthday. They said absolutely yes. I'm in no rush. Pay me when you can. What was the listing for? So, before I show these, there are certain series of films, what have you, that I think, personally, and you can disagree obviously, I think any collector should own. There are certain film series that are marquee series. They change the face of things. They do something different, or they're so big and successful that I'm like, yeah, I want to own those on physical media. You notice there I'm also saying physical media because all of these movies that I have here are available on a streaming platform. That streaming platform is Disney Plus. What is it I'm talking about? I'm talking about the Avengers films up until Endgame. So these are the Phase 1 to 3 box sets. Phase 3 is split into 2 different parts because that's how many films were in Phase 3. And I've wanted these for so long. I have had these in my my basket on Amazon, on Zoom, not the meeting platform. There's a site here in the UK called Zoom that sells DVDs and Blu-rays. On Zavvi at one point. At one point, I almost pulled the trigger on Zavvi. Zavvi, for a while, were having a promotion that if you had a certain amount of money worth of stuff in your basket, they gave you an amount off. And for each of these, if you bought them with each other, you got some money off the other ones, basically. So if you basically bought the whole collection, you could have gotten them for about £100, just over £100. But for reasons, I do remember the reason now, Zavvi I can do that with. Basically, when I went to go and order the items, up popped a notice saying we're actually out of stock on some of the items. You know, you can't proceed with your basket without removing these items. Now, I would have gone forward with it if it made sense in my logical brain which ones were out of stock. The only ones I could buy, I think, were the second one, Phase 2 and Phase 3 Part 2, I think. I seem to remember. It was weird, so I decided not to do that. The deal last week, buying this lot for £80, brings these down to £20 a box set, which is a steal. They look brand new. They look immaculate, as if they've barely been touched, as if they've literally just been cellophaned. They still smell new as well. There's still that new cardboard smell that I really like from new items. Any of us like from new items. These look as if they've literally just been uncellophaned, and that's it. So to get them for £20, and these are the Blu-rays, by the way. These aren't the DVDs, and I make that stipulation because you can get the DVD box sets for quite cheap. If you look around, you can get the DVD box sets for about £15-20. The Blu-ray box sets go between £30 to £40, depending on when you're looking for them. And of course, over the series of 4 box sets, that gets expensive. So to get them for £20 a box set was phenomenal. I'm going to say a quick something on these, by the way. I do know, of course, all of us know, there is a big 4K box set out there. I'm a little annoyed that they haven't put out a non-4K box set out there. However, I watched a YouTube video a few months back of someone who literally said, don't buy things with heavy CGI on them in 4K. Yes, the footage itself will look 4K. The problem is the CG elements. The CG elements are made at 2K resolution. They are composite or rendered out. They're rendered out at a 2K resolution. Which means, yes, these probably look like beautiful films in 4K, given Disney's, of course, budget with things, but it's going to look a bit jarring when you see 2K CG assets. And the jump between 1080 to 2K isn't that massive. And that person that recently bought, I think it was Infinity War on 4K, watched it and was very disappointed on what he saw and was like, why doesn't this look, as good as it should? He looked it up and then found out that the CG assets for all of the Avengers films is rendered in 2K. So, and it's going to be a while until they're rendered in 4K, because to render a CG asset out in 4K in its entirety takes an astronomical amount of space and processing power. Processing power that takes money to do, essentially. Now, you may be thinking, yeah, Disney have all the money. they want in the world. But Disney still have shareholders, and those shareholders still want their bonus as full as it can be at the end of the year whenever they get it. So what would probably happen if studios were to start rendering out, assets at 4K, is they'd probably pass on that cost to the consumer. 4K, certain 4K movies that have a lot of CG assets may be more expensive than those that don't, because they need to recoup that cost back somehow. So food for thought. But I'm very happy with these sets. I am going to show you the first sets. They all look beautiful. They are really nice sets. This, as I drop one of them, this is all embossed. That's all embossed. That's embossed. You can see the whole thing is shiny. Is that the Tesseract? Yeah, I think that's the Tesseract. We've got the Tesseract. We take off the slipcover. On the back, it tells you the films included in the set. Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, The First Avenger, and of course Avengers Assemble, all Avengers. It was called Avengers Assemble over here because of a copyright naming issue with another entity. So you take off the top, you then take out this, which is a Digistack. One thing I like about this set, I used to own the first Avengers, all of the films in this particular set, in a different box set. But all of the discs, it was just a repackaging. It was a repackaging of all the discs that came before it. Whereas in this one, the discs are actually the same colour as the set itself. They're coordinated, which means these are reauthored discs, or at very least, they've been reprinted, which is actually quite nice. So Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, The First Avenger, Avengers Assemble, and then you get a bonus disc for each of these sets. You also get, that I'm not necessarily going to open up in this video, I'll do it in another video, you get a pack. So in here, you get a pack, and in that pack is a movie poster for each of the movies and art cards. The art cards are beautiful. They are really, really nice. I'm going to put this away. So, I don't know how long Disney were thinking of doing Disney Plus. And as far as I know, I'm trying to think, Marvel wasn't owned by Disney when this series first started, was it? This is a bit of a pain in the butt to get back in. I had problems with it earlier trying to... Oh, I know why. Is that it? Or is that it? Maybe not. I'm going to do that off camera because I don't want to keep you guys any longer than I necessarily need to. So I'm going to show you on the back. If you get phase 1 and phase 2, all of the art cards you can combine together to make a Thanos poster. I like that a lot. The reason why I like that a lot is it encourages you to collect these. In a world of streaming, where streaming is the main way people digest content now, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, all those different things. In a world where everything is streaming, oh, that's it, these used to be on Netflix. That's where they used to be. Yeah, the world where streaming is a thing, to encourage you to collect physical media is something I'm here for. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted these sets for so long, is because that you can flip over the art cards from phase 1 and phase 2 and make a Thanos poster if you want to. I think that's pretty damn cool, if you ask me. And one of the reasons why I wanted this set so much is that simple reason. Some people may think that's stupid, silly, what have you. But it's why I wanted this set. And there we go, I think I've just managed to... He says, and there we go, managed to get it back together. There's a lip on the inside of there that kind of the Digistack gets stuck on. Anyway, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting through these films. In terms of what I've watched of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I've watched up until Avengers 2. There are caveats to that. I haven't seen a bunch of the movies in between. I watched up until the first Avengers. I watched all the films up until the first Avengers, sorry. I then watched Captain America: The Winter Soldier because a friend told me to, and I did not regret that for 1 minute. It's a fantastic film. I really like Winter Soldier. I then skipped. I then one day was bored and decided to watch Age of Ultron. Just randomly, I think it was on Netflix. It recently been added to Netflix. I heard rumours that it was going to be removed from Netflix. That may be around the time that Disney Plus was first being spoken about being a thing. I don't remember. I know that Disney were removing some of their stuff from other platforms. So I'm like, I'm just going to sit down and watch this film. Thoroughly bloody enjoyed it. I really like Age of Ultron. It's a spectacular film. In my mind, thoroughly enjoyed that. I then didn't watch any of the others because I kind of envisaged one day I would end up just buying them all on Blu-ray and watching them that way. Little did I know that Disney Plus would then become a thing. But now I have incentive to sit down and watch these films. I have them on Blu-ray and I couldn't be happier. So that's been an update on what I've gotten recently, what's been going on with me. I'm off this week as it's my birthday week. I'm off work at the moment, back to work on Monday next week. And yeah, things are going pretty okay with me at the moment. So I thought I'd just give you this little update on what's going on. Thank you for watching this video, guys. Until next time, please take care. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day. Ta-ra.